In 2024, I had some major accomplishments in my artistic journey, but also some difficult moments, and there are a few things that I want to do differently in 2025. In this video, I'm going to share with you my goals and intentions for 2025 that are all about trying to bring more intentionality, balance, and rest into my practice. My first goal/intention is to be more intentional about my art practice. If you watched my video last week, you heard me talk about how dynamic sketching has been a difficult class for me in my art studies. This happened a few times in my journey, it wasn't just this time, but the lesson that I want to take away from this experience that I had a few times is that I need to be extremely clear on why I am doing everything that I do. Because I feel like having this clarity from the start and at every point of my journey, with every class that I take, with every drawing that I do, would have allowed me to take a lot more out of every experience that I had. And it's easy for me to go on, and for everyone I guess, to go on autopilot and not be fully active and engaged and intentional, and so I want to make this a focus for 2025. I am planning on doing this in a few different levels. First, I want to keep, because I already started this, I want to keep a very intense note-taking habit. I am not a note-taker naturally. Because I'm very lucky to have good memory. I can remember sentences from teachers and bits from lessons for a very long time, and sometimes to the exact word. And so for all my life and most of my academic studies before New Masters Academy, I've been relying on this memory to not take a lot of notes, and sometimes no notes at all. So this is not natural for me, but recently I started taking notes for my art, both for my lessons and for my personal practice and my master studies, in a way that is a lot more intentional. That's really the key here, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I think I'm going to make a video dedicated to note-taking for art studies, to tell you exactly how this new approach has changed my note-taking and my entire art practice. But in short, part of this goal of being more intentional with my art practice in general is keep improving on this note-taking habit. Related to this, I also started in September having a studio journal, and again, I have a video planned about this one already, but this is basically something that I keep at the end of every day or every drawing session. I take some time to reflect on what I've done and write what I've learned. So as part of my note-taking, I want to keep this as well. I want to be more intentional with the courses that I take and the projects that I decide to take. I want to make sure when I decide to enroll for a class, or when I decide to start a class or a project or anything, that this relates to my big goal, that I have a clear idea of what I want to do and how this thing that I'm doing is going to serve my own artistic goals, rather than just following a little bit blindly the path that has been made for me, which isn't always a bad thing. I'm glad that I was able to do it for the Drawing Foundations module, but I also want to think about what I want to gain from a class, why I am doing it, and write it down somewhere when I start the class, so that when I start doubting, when it gets difficult, I can go back to this intention that I set at the beginning and see if I was wrong, if maybe I am not taking what I was hoping from the class and that's why I'm losing motivation, or if it is just a loss of motivation and really I should just keep going. So be more intentional with my classes, with my projects, with my master studies. That is something that I really want to keep in mind, and I think will help me gain a lot more out of everything that I do, basically. Related to this idea of being intentional, and it is close to what I had for my creative intentions last year, but it's something that is worth repeating myself every year, I believe. But I want to be more intentional with every stroke that I make on paper. I want to slow down. I want to make every drawing I do to take the opportunity to make it the best drawing that I've ever done. I'm not into sketching for sketching and filling sketchbooks. I can do it, but I don't take a lot of joy, a lot of pride out of it, and I really feel my best drawing, and I feel my best about myself when I give myself all the space it takes to make a drawing the best I can. That was a very long and not very fluid sentence, but I hope it made sense. So that's also something that I want to have with my drawing practice, with every drawing that I make, whether it is an assignment, a master study, or a personal project, or even a sketch. Just because it is quick doesn't mean that it has to be butchered, basically. So quality over quantity. Before I share my second goal with you, I have an announcement to make. I started to work on a big project that I have for 2025, and I can't tell you too much about it because it is just the beginning and it's going to take me month to do it before I can release it. But when I do, I am already planning on telling the subscribers to my newsletter first, and there will be a special offer. So if you like what I do here and you would like to see a lot more of my drawing process, you can subscribe to my newsletter. I will leave the link in the description. My second big goal is to keep exploring my own artistic interests, because for me, and I know that this is a common thing and many people fall into the same trap, but it is very easy for me to just study and forget to have a personal practice. That's the first reason, but also I think that having a personal practice, having an interest that isn't just following courses, is also a way to gain a lot more out of the courses. It goes with the idea of being more intentional, and I think cultivating my own interests and having a personal practice is a necessary ingredient to this entire thing of studying art. I want to do this in a few different ways. The first one is that I want to keep a master study habit. It is a new habit for me, something that I've been trying to establish for some time, but I couldn't gain momentum on it. But this year, in November, on the New Masters Academy Discord, Dylan and other people started 100 Days of Master Studies Challenge, and it is a big thing. Many students are doing it, and it's extremely inspiring to watch everyone making progress. And for me, I took the opportunity to work on a project that I didn't have the motivation to do on my own, and having this challenge has really helped me a lot to establish a master study habit, because I didn't have it and I have to do it every single day. Right now, I think it is day 44 of the challenge and I haven't broken the chain yet. I don't want to carry this intensity in 2025. I'm going to finish the challenge, but I don't want to just finish and stop there. I would like to keep this habit within 2025 and keep it as a way not just to study masterworks, but to study masterworks that speak to me, and keep it as a way to explore my own interests. So maybe not every day, but at least having one drawing session every week that is dedicated to studying artwork that I love. I also want to be constantly, and I know this isn't a very measurable thing for a goal, but I want to be constantly working on a personal project. And the way I see it, because I don't like to have too many things going on at once, the way I see it is that I would like to have one active project that I'm actively making progress on at any time. And I tend to think of my time weekly, so that would mean that every week I do a little bit on it. Probably not every day because of the way I organize myself with different activities, but every week I make some progress on this active project. And I would also have a backlog of ideas and things that I want to do next and inspirations, so that I don't get this moment in between projects where something has ended and it is difficult to start something new. I want to have kind of a continuity, and that's what I mean by constantly working on some personal project. It is, organizing myself in a way that I have a project and something is already ready for me when this one ends. So it could be commissions, it could be purely personal artwork for myself or for a gift, it could be something for my brand, like an illustration that I would like to sell, or it could be a New Masters Academy community prompt or a contest or anything, but I want to have this as a constant habit. And my final plan on how to keep following my own artistic interests is to try to do during 2025 at least one workshop that is related directly to one of my interests. And I keep a list of workshops that I would like to do, but it would probably be something related to botanical painting or stained glass. I'm lucky to live in a city where I have a few stained glass workshops and I could take classes fairly easily. It is something that I love, that I would love to do, and I want to do something like that in 2025. My final goal is something that it's not easy for me to share it because it's very basic, but it's going to take me a lot of effort, and being accountable on this goal, saying publicly that I want to do it is difficult, although the habits that I want to establish for this goal are very basic and very simple. So the goal is that I want to pay some attention to my well-being. I want to have a basic level of self-care because I've been neglecting myself for a few big chunks of 2024, and the past month has been crazy. I've been working 7 days out of 7. I love working. That's why it is a difficult goal for me, because getting out of bed, starting to work and doing it until I fall back asleep is something that I enjoy, weirdly. So it is hard for me, and it takes some effort to have something a little bit more balanced. But it is important, and it is related to art, because I know and I can feel it that rest is necessary for learning, not just sleeping enough, but just sometimes thinking about something else than your art studies is important. And I also need to have some input for creativity, because I am doing assignments, I am studying lessons, I am trying to work on my own personal art practice, but I am not consuming any entertainment. I don't remember the last time that I watched a new series, but it must have been at least 2 years ago. I think I've watched 2 movies this year. But yeah, that's not good. It is important to consume art as well in order to be creative, and I am missing it, and I want to have an intention to do it this year. I want to have more contact with nature. I live in a city, but I want to make it at least a weekly habit to go to the park, because I feel so good when I go there, and I miss it so much when I don't. So yeah, going to the park every week, and I can draw plants there, so it's a win-win. To have some mental rest, trying to watch at least one series this year, or to watch maybe 1 movie a week or something like that. I haven't decided exactly on the number for this one, but yeah, bring entertainment and art back into my life in a reasonable manner. Physical activity, also important. I'm going to have a very humble objective for this, because it is very difficult for me to bring back this habit. So it's going to be very simple. I just want to take walks. I used to walk a lot and I loved it. I just have stopped doing it for time reasons, because I have so much to do, and just going outside to walk for an hour feels like a waste of time, but it isn't. I know it isn't, and I just want to bring this. And finally, just take breaks. Maybe try to plan for a day away or a weekend away at least every 2 to 3 months. I also want to keep creating for this YouTube channel. As I was telling you last week, I am very grateful to all of you for being here and for your messages, and I think the community that we have here and the comments that you leave under my videos are just amazing, and thank you so much for that. It is giving me a lot of motivation. It's making me incredibly happy, and I'm touched to be able to inspire you in your artistic journey, and yeah, just thank you so much for that. I have a lot of videos planned for you. I have a 2025 studio tour that I haven't recorded yet, and I already recorded a few videos that are going to come out in 2025 that I'm very, very excited about. So if you enjoyed this one and you're not subscribed yet, you can subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next ones. I hope you had an amazing end of year, and I wish you all the best for 2025. Thank you for watching, stay creative, and I will see you next year.